Hello, this is Dream Talk with Bob. Good to see you again. Glad you've come and checked out my page. I'm really excited about dreams. I interpret dreams for people all over the world, different religions, different races, different creeds, different countries, many different countries. And I've found that there are ways to understand the dreams of all people and their different religions. Actually, these keys are in the Bible. But there are things that are just keys, things that you learn from looking at many dreams. One of them is the meanings of the names or the people that come in your dream. You know, you have your mom and dad, we've talked about that, a source of life, a source of authority within the dreamer. So your mom and dad has to show up as someone else. Your husband or your wife, they represent the two becoming one. And so it's not your wife or your husband in your dream, but what you have created together and how you're operating with that. It's so amazing how dreams really get into the source of life or death. We've talked about death and your quality of life. 98% of dreams come when death is working to reveal the source of death so that you can take authority over it and you can deal with the death in your quality of life. But here, when you have people like someone you went to high school with, talk about a brother or a sister. Well, what would that mean? Well, many times your brother or your sister could represent your mate. In chapter 6 of Corinthians, 2 Corinthians, chapter 6, it talks about don't be unequally yoked together with unbelievers. You know, and it talks about you want to be yoked with someone who believes the way you believe. And so your mate might show up as a brother or sister. Or maybe you don't have a brother or a sister, you know, and then it'll have to be some other way. But God always hides the identity of people. It's part of the parable. He hides the identity of people to reveal, just to give you this mystery, this unknown. See, we don't buy houses, we don't get married, we don't make huge decisions on dreams unless we have a few dreams in the conversation that's in the dreams, unless we have many dreams that back up this subject and from many different points of view, then he could maybe give you, yes, I need to do this. But it's being led by the Spirit. So part of the parabolic language in dreams is people. And people come, childhood teachers, acquaintances, people on your basketball team at school, or, you know, sports or chess team, or just, I don't know, throughout school, you have many different people that you were with that will show up in your dreams. Or people you played down the block, and your neighbor. Your neighbor, that's a big thing. So what's the big deal about a neighbor? Well, the neighbor is you need to love your neighbor as you love yourself. So in the dream, your neighbor shows up, it's you. Because you got to love yourself. The way that the parables are in dreams, it seems confusing, but when you begin to separate out the meanings of the names, like Brian, well-born, Chris, anointed one, Jesus Christ, salvation, Joshua, salvation, Jesus, Christ, anointed one. Many times when you look up Christ or Christian or Chris in the books, you find Christ follower. But the actual meaning of Chris or Christ, or is the anointed one. So here, in the anointing, there's a big conversation there. We'll go back to that. But Mary, you have Mary in your dream. Mary has got a double meaning to her name. It's star of the sea from the sea of bitterness. I'm like, wow, Mary. It means so much in your dream. You see, sea, or the ocean, sea, represents humanity. A boat is a vehicle which would represent salvation, saved from your humanity. Well, when you live in the sea, your humanity rules your life. But when you're saved from your humanity, then you're in charge of your feelings and emotions and thoughts. And you make the choices rather than your feelings, emotions, and thoughts making the choices for you. So salvation is way more than just how some people say, I got saved, I accepted Jesus. It's a journey. And dreams help you on that journey. So to get back to names, oh my goodness. Anthony or Tony. What's that mean? Flourishing man. So whenever my friend Tony is with me, I know I'm flourishing. You apply the meaning of the name rather than what they mean to you. You apply the meaning of their name to the dream, and the dream begins to take on a different meaning or flavor. And then you begin to see through the parable or the drama that comes in your dream. Yeah, dreams are so amazing. House, your living room. Let's just talk about a house. Okay, let's say you live in a ranch house, one story. So your living room is today, right now. What is going on now? When you look out your front door, that would be or actually a window. You look out your front window, that would be a prophetic picture of your future. If you look out your back door, that would be a prophetic picture of your past. So your house has an element of time. A bedroom, it's a private area. A closet, place for prayer, where Jesus said you go into your closet and what you say in private, God will shout on the rooftops. So you have walls. Walls in your house can be a place of prayer, or your prayers, your conversation. The walls record the conversation in your house, your prayers. Okay, so furniture, desks, furniture would be doctrine. It would hold what you believe. Of course, books is history and teaching. The kitchen. What happens in the kitchen? The kitchen is where things are prepared, where you prepare your heart, where you prepare the food. Now, that's a parable also. Jesus said to the woman at the well, or she said to the disciples who came back with food, they said, have you eaten already? And he says, I have food you know not of. My food is to do the will of the Father. So in King James Version, that says meat, but in other versions, it says food. But I find in dreams that chicken and beef, and mostly more like chicken, is the will of the Father. And then you have other things like potatoes and vegetables, which are food, but not necessarily the will of the Father. we're talking about symbols and dreams and how they can be interpreted. So I might be going really fast for you, but went from the kitchen to the bedroom to the closet. The plates you serve the food, the will of the Father to others. You know, how you speak to them, how you talk to them. So when you're having a dream and you're in a house and you walk out on the front door, or there's a knock at the door, which means that in time, and right close in time, something's coming to your door. So within the next day or two, or even the next morning, you're going to have something that's going to be presented to you or come to your door. Not necessarily your house, could happen at work, could be something that's going on, but in the dream, the time is, your living room is where you are right now, and at the door would be the near future. On your porch would just be past the near future. In your driveway or in your front yard, it's something that's going to happen. If it's in the street or down the street, then it's something that's going to happen in a day or two or a week. You know, there's a time element. So when you see a house, now if you've heard me talk before, a house is an identity. But many times when you're in the house you live in, the house that you're at, and you have a dream, then it's your soul. Then it's what's going on in your soul at that time. And isn't that interesting? We're worried about situations in life, and God is worried about our soul. You know, and so we can go on and on and on with the different meanings of symbols. Like your car would be your ministry. Your pickup, well, that would be a ministry too, but it has a double meaning. If you're driving a pickup, it means there's something you need to pick up. You know, a meaning or something going on that you don't see. So when you're in your pickup, you need to know there's something you got to learn. So let's look at this. All right, so a truck. A truck is a big ministry with great supply. You know, and what I love about dreams and the parabolic nature of dreams, if your car runs into a truck, what do you think that means? It probably means that you're running into somebody with great supply. It's not about having an accident and you get in an accident with a truck, you know, and your car gets destroyed. Those things do happen. But in a dream, if you hit a truck, it's probably you're hitting something with great supply. Now, you have to know, always in dreams, things can be positive or negative. You know, like Tony or, Tony's in a dream. Tony could be negative flourishing, or it can be positive flourishing. You have to look at the keys in the dream to figure out how his name applies to your dream. You know, the drama that's going on in your dream. So when you see these different symbols, then you want to begin to break them down, maybe write them down, the meaning of the symbol and how it was used in the dream and what it would say outside of the drama that's in the dream. Because the drama in the dream is the parable. But when you add up all the symbols and how things happen in the dream, that's the information that the dream wants to bring to you. So this is Dream Talk, and I'm Bob, and I hope you enjoy my little teachings. Sometimes that might be confusing, but spend time, think about it, go after it. Remember, if you're getting the interpretation of your dream, you have a right, it feels right in your heart When it's not right, when it's uncomfortable, you missed it. You have to keep going after the symbols and adding positive or negative influences to see how the story, the drama in your dream, reveals something you don't know about your life. Remember, dreams are the most important thing you don't know that you need know, that you need to know, hidden in a parable, that you get at night, instructions, that you get at night for your life. Have a great week. Blessings.